since I ruined everybody's night.
I fucking hate you. Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. So I just called an audible on the boys here and decided that we were going to have a little bonus episode. So, yeah. Good stuff, though, right?
It's all right.
Totally good.
I'm the
All for the
back,
fans.
I got the ball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
It was a good night for me to drink coffee, so I'm ready.
So let's talk WrestleMania. Obviously, as we all know, we kind of kept score, and we'll break down the card and do the thing, and then we'll announce who won at the end of this thing. So let's try to just keep it moving here. Yeah, we gotta save the suspense, pal. I'm not gonna tell everybody who won right up front.
I have somebody
Shouldn't the winner have the ability to
somebody owes
gloat
me
for
$1.
the next,
Somebody may owe you $1, or you
Somebody
may
owes
owe
somebody some
somebody
money.
$1.
Somebody owes
owes
somebody
$1.
$1.
Yes. So let's go ahead and get it going here.
Let's
Night
do it.
1, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley wins. Tom, what did you think, bud?
I love the match. I'm a big fan of big guy matches. So matches like this where it's just like two big dudes just beating the hell out of each other. Really, 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 really liked it. I don't know that I'm Team Bobby and that I was into Bobby Lashley's win, but I'm not convinced. Put it that way. I've been convinced that Bobby is a legit champion, and I do think that maybe he deserves a longer reign and maybe some more, because he only really beat The Miz, so that's sort of like fake, right?
Yeah.
Like not to take anything away from The Miz, he's fine.
Oh.
But he wasn't a top tier contender for this match, or for this title, and maybe Bobby needed some sort of solidification of that he actually is a legitimate champion, and I think maybe this was it. So I'm not against that necessarily on paper. We'll see where it goes from here. I hope that Bobby's a good champion, and I do think Drew will hold it again. I don't think this necessarily means that, oh no, Drew's era is over and it's all Bobby now. I feel like Drew really carried the company on his shoulders, especially Raw, when there was just not for a long time. Like, I feel like that, like during the pandemic, Raw was particularly terrible, except for whatever parts Drew was in. And I feel like Drew really carried that whole product on his back. And I do think he deserves a better, bigger, longer, maybe more title reigns, but I understand why keeping the title on Bobby and giving him a big win over Drew at WrestleMania makes sense. So, yeah, no, I loved it. It was a great match, and I like big man matches a lot, and this was one of the better ones I've seen in a long time.
Bro, I just love sitting back when you're passionate about something that you're watching on wrestling, man. I love listening to it. Like the Jey Uso thing a couple of weeks ago. You're absolutely right, bro. Drew definitely deserves that opportunity to have that long title reign, and he definitely carried us on his back through what they're now dubbing the Thunderdome era. And I don't think that we would be in a situation that we're in right now as far as the health of the product had it not been for Drew McIntyre during this time. However, there is a sense that WWE needs to make changes and that WWE needs to take new direction and look at things differently. And I think having somebody like Bobby Lashley as the face of your company, wearing your title, and letting him go out and be that quote unquote Brock Lesnar type guy with his mouthpiece and let Bobby just be a badass. I think that you're kind of following that same model, but it's with a different face, and it's somebody that fans have wanted to be in this position for a very, very long time.
And he was built well.
Yes.
He was built to the level well. It wasn't they did, they did a good job. Let's, bask in the glory of doing a good job. Speaking of basking in the glory, there's other big guys who could have good big guy matches with him as well.
100%.
So
we're definitely missing him.
I hope he's back soon.
Where has he been? Is he on COVID leave?
No, he had some other medical issue.
It's pretty tight-lipped, actually.
It
McMahonitis.
seems like somebody had said to me that it seems like it's a cholesterol, heart, or blood pressure type issue. So that's, he's 37, 38, and he's not a little man. He's a big man. So that seems likely to me. I don't know that they necessarily want him out there exerting himself. Look, the last thing I don't want to see
a man have a heart attack.
Yeah, the last thing I want, especially Keith Lee. I mean, the last thing I want to see is Keith Lee have a heart attack and die in front of my own eyes. So, if that's the case, get that under control, whatever that may need to be, whether it's give him a stint, give him, hopefully it's not a triple bypass surgery at sub 40, but whatever that needs to be, I don't want to see that either. So, I wish him the best of health as somebody who has heart disease running in his family. I hope that that's not the case. And if it is, that I hope he finds a way. I hope they caught it early and that he finds a way to correct it and come back.
For sure.
Well,
I had no idea he was having these issues.
Yeah, I had no idea either. So that's awesome. That's like a good little breakaway there. I had no idea. Wow.
No. But you guys made some great points
I don't
about
know
that
for sure.
match. And honestly, I was surprised it was the opening match.
That's what I was given. The little bird told me. So
I see. Old Tom Meltzer over here with his insider information.
Allegedly.
I like it.
Man, great opening match. Opening match. I know, Tom, you've said it before, and they even said it on the announce team before the match that Drew did carry the company on his back through, as you mentioned, Tom, the Thunderdome era. I'm guessing that we're done with Thunderdoming. I'm not really sure how that's going to go.
Sir.
No. So we're just going to stay in one
There's
spot.
There's going to be a tour. It's coming. It's just not. It's like later this summer.
I see.
There were dates.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a great match, though. I was super happy with it. I love me some Bobby Lashley. I also love that his eyebrows were on point that night.
The fact that he had
I know I told us in the group chat, I was like, those things are going to be running down his face before this night's over.
I think you just told
me.
But
no, they did well. Oh, was it just you?
It was just me. And
Yep. But no, it was good. Good stuff.
So for anybody keeping score at home, Derek and I got that match right. So we
need
on.
Some graphics. We should have had an overlay that we could put on here. Ding.
I guess I should have thought about it a little bit better. Moving on, let's talk about the steel cage match. Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Braun wins. I think that was the right call, but I don't know. We've already said we weren't really invested in this storyline. It just really didn't do anything for us. The match was decent, though. Got the match in the ring.
It was as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it was what I expected. I mean, where the part where Braun rips the cage, the steel from the piping around the cage, that was good stuff. It was what it was. I really hated the ending as far as making it a feel-good story about a young man who was down and out on his luck, stopping a bully, because Braun's definitely one to be bullied by this 55-year-old munchkin over here.
I really wanted to see Braun throw Shane through I wanted to see Shane win, like in a bloody heaping mess pile. Like, this is how Shane wins a lot of his matches.
Yes.
Is that like he wins, but like by pure accident, and he's just like thrown through like a shredder. Just like he gets up and he's like bleeding.
Just comes out of a wood chipper and he's still fighting.
He's just dead. He's like, I did it. Well, I escaped the cage, and it's like he didn't really escape the cage. Like he's been torn to shreds, but they threw him through the cage, and like he just didn't die.
He might have that night. I think that was another thing. It was like whenever he took that bump, man, it was just you could tell that was painful.
He did chuck him off the cage, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took a big boy bump that night.
I mean, he takes big. That's all Shane does is big boy bumps.
Yeah, that's why he only does them once a year anymore.
Man, it's just one of those situations where I feel like he just wants to go out there and show off a little bit. Got to get a little spotlight on him. Hey, I'm Shane McMahon. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That match, that was whatever. Moving on, let's talk about the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day.
AJ was good. New Day was good. Omos, he didn't really move much.
He didn't do that. Backbreaker was
he didn't do much.
Textbook, pal.
I mean, but like, did he was sort of in the same spot the whole time, is what I'm getting at.
Anywhere.
It was not a lot of
that backbreaker was terrible, bro. It was real
basically
bad.
The highlight of that match for me was that Big E came out with the New Day. That's what I was excited about.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So
not
AJ
excited to see Omos in the ring.
AJ and Omos win the tag titles, and AJ
is now a Grand Slam champion.
Yes. Is that what this is about? Oh well,
yes. Oh, so let me point at this. Okay,
makes sense.
So the match itself, it wasn't too long. I don't like to hate on matches that are pretty short. This went pretty quick. AJ did his thing and was in, and for whatever reason, like almost was the hot tag after the New Day did their New Day stuff because it was WrestleMania and they got to get their New Day stuff in. But then almost was the hot tag, and he literally just stood there and like was impervious to pain and smashed dudes, and then he smashed Kofi and stood on his chest, like just put a foot on his chest to pin him, and the crowd exploded. And I'm good with it. I really am. I like the whole match. Like obviously this almost did not carry any weight in this match, despite being the heaviest man in the match by probably being as heavy as the rest of the competitors. But it was very good. I liked it. I like that AJ is now Grand Slam champion. I like that. It's just good. It's cool. It's very cool. It wasn't the best match on the card, but it was a neat WrestleMania match, and it did its job.
Yeah, for sure. And Tom and I picked the winner of that one, and Derek picked Braun to win the last match. But the interesting little wrinkle here is, I missed this earlier. Derek had this as a no contest.
I did.
So Tom and I get a point.
Bonus points on that one,
and Derek loses a point. So
wait, I lose a point.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Someone figured out a way to get themselves made the winner here. I see how it is.
Wait, does this make me?
Oh, no spoilers. Yeah, I could.
Hold on.
I could.
I might win this one.
Yeah.
So, is it a negative one?
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah. This is new shit to me.
Hey, you're the one that
negative numbers now.
I'm just saying. All right, moving on.
Shit.
Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I think that it's safe to say we were all really looking forward to this match, and we all touted it as possible match of the week. So
it's number 2.
I agree. It's number 2.
It's number 2.
But it was good. I think that it delivered on everything that we wanted. Derek, you didn't get your 34 swings, even though it was
I didn't.
WrestleMania
I got 23.
37.
He set a record.
You said it was 34 last week. It was 37, pal. So just
Oh well, whatever.
know.
Math's hard,
How many UFO swings did he do though?
Oh, I don't know that they counted those. That was wild though.
I'm just saying, if you add them together, does it?
I
See?
mean, I don't know. I
I'm
don't have
not
a
great at
number.
math, but
I'm not either.
I have an accounting degree.
So
Derek.
what's the number, pal?
how many swings?
I don't
were
know. I hate math. I just went to school for it, and I can't stand it though now. Give me numbers. I don't know. How many UFO swings were there? Did anybody count?
I'll hit you up tomorrow. I've
Okay.
got some accounting work I've got some accounting help that I need at work because I have a law degree,
Okay.
and
Uh,
for some
We
reason
could combine forces and be one hell of an
for,
employee.
for some reason accountants send me things like, "Hey, figure this out," and I'm like, "I have a law. I'm law. I'm not accounting." I'm like, "Oh, but you need to do this with the IRS." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "That's accounting." Anyway, not important.
Back to
Tom,
the
what you think
mania
of the
of wrestle.
match, bud? I got to know what you thought. I'm in suspense.
Me?
Yeah, you,
About what?
Rollins and Cesaro.
Oh, Jesus. Really? We're still talking about that? Okay. So what I actually
I
think,
was trying to talk about it, but you started talking about accounting.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
I'm sorry. It has been a long day.
Anyway, so okay.
Sorry.
So not accounting. It's Rollins versus Cesaro.
Sorry.
I really feel like Seth Rollins has had sort of since he came back, whatever, a month ago or whatever it was. He's really had that like, there's really not anything to build you into like a title picture at this point. So what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I want to have the best match of the night with Cesaro. And can I just do that? And they're like, Vince was like, yeah, pal, whatever. You have fun. And that's literally what we saw. Like this was clearly a birthday present or a Christmas present or a whatever present to Rollins and Cesaro because they're friends, right? Like this is not like this is not like they're workout partners.
Yeah, they're like CrossFit buddies and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so. Like this is not breaking news. And so they were like, yeah, we just want to work together and have the best match humanly possible. And somebody was like, all right, you got 15 minutes or whatever, however long this match was. You got this amount of minutes. And they were like, cool, we could do that. And that's what they did. And they just literally went out there and they were just like, we're going to make this great. And we're going to put Cesaro over because, look, Seth is not in the title picture on SmackDown. He's going back to Raw. I would be stunned if they don't have Seth move to Raw whenever the next draft is. It's coming. It's soon. We all know it's soon. It's coming. And it's just, I would be stunned because they're not going to put Seth and Roman on the same show anymore because they're both the guy. They got to put Seth on a title picture, and Roman clearly is the man, and he's on the run of his career right now, and good for him. But don't put Seth in there. And Seth's on a great run, too, as a heel. How are you going to have two heels banging heads about this? You know, if one of them was a clearly overwhelming, white meat baby phase, maybe that'd be different, but it's not. So Seth's going to go back to Raw. Roman's going to continue to dominate on SmackDown. And so this was sort of a just like, hey, Seth, what do you want to do? You're a draw. Go put on a good match. Hey, I want Cesaro. And this catapults Cesaro into some sort of title picture, just elevates his career to a level of like main event player somewhere, whether he goes to Raw and they continue this feud with Seth Rollins and they maybe feud over a title, or he stays on SmackDown and he challenges Roman, even if Roman beats him. I think that's really good. So I think we're going to get a lot of good matches now. I think we're going to get more good push matches out of Cesaro. I think that we're going to get, I think, Seth was over for me, but I think this really put him over for me as the, like, the heel Seth Rollins of, like, being a heel clearly, but also like being the heel that's like really willing to put people over who deserve it. So that's where I am.
I got nothing. I got nothing to add to that.
It's because I'm right.
Okay. So Bad Bunny wins the tag match, huh? Yeah, that was good. Go Bad Bunny, right?
He did well.
Yeah,
I thought he performed well.
I will point out that John Morrison executed all of the offense that Bad Bunny did.
Yes.
John Morrison is great at flip hurting himself and propelling his partner with him. It helps the Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny put in the work though. Like,
he did great. He was great.
Think,
noticeable.
Yeah, that was huge.
This is no disrespect to Bad Bunny. That match was 150% better than it had any right to be.
Mm-hmm.
So good to that.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So, the highlight of the night, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Wow. I dug the match. I really did. I thought it was a great match. They told their story and they got across that, Sasha is just a phenomenal heel. Phenomenal. And to have, like, they came out and do their thing and Bianca break down in the ring, like, that shit's real, man. You don't see that these days. And the match lived up to the hype. It really did. I'm glad that it was the main event. It delivered for me. It really did. I had Sasha going over in this one. Obviously, Bianca was the choice. We all knew that. But it was good.
I was real happy with the match. I thought it was great. Bianca put on a heck of a show. Sasha held up well. I usually shit on Sasha quite a bit, but she did good. I was honestly though waiting for Bianca to screw up the whenever she had Sasha up over her head and she was walking up the stairs. It's like, oh man, please don't drop her. Please don't like trip. I was just expecting something terrible to happen, but no, they pulled off everything. Everything looked clean. Everything looked great. God, I couldn't have been happier with how that ended.
Tom,
I thought Sasha was going to take a bump where it looked like she broke her neck. She does that usually in these matches, like twice at least. But there were none of those. That didn't happen at all. This was actually a very clean match, and I really like that. I think Bianca's fantastic. Good Lord. And this was her best showing to date. She really just she took over. Like, they put her on. She's been on the main roster for not that long, and
she hasn't even really done anything on the main roster. They kind of just strapped the jetpack to her and said, "Here you go. Here's the instruction manual. Enjoy."
And literally, it was just like, "Oh, okay, here you go." And it was really good. It was really good. She did really, 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 really well. The whole match itself was really good, and I just can't. It was great. It was the right call for that to be the last match.
I enjoyed it. All right, moving on to night 2. So we had started off with the old Randy Orton versus the Fiend. What a shit show this was, huh?
Dude, night 2 was nothing but the night of gimmicks, is what it should have been called. Night 2 was such a letdown compared to night 1. It was cringy. Look, I mean, Tom's pissed. He just walked off a set, guys.
So let's talk about the tunnel of regeneration. Like, what?
Man, I didn't mind the tunnel of regeneration. What did you want him to do? Seriously, come out and fight as Crispy Fiend? You've
Yeah,
got to
'cause I
do
want-
something.
I needed him to pop Tom. That's what I needed.
Okay,
I
did
needed
you
him to
hate
wrestle a
that
match
more
as
than
quick
you
as
hated Alexa Bliss shooting black stuff out of her forehead?
It was a shit
Because
show.
that was just like, what? What is happening right now?
It was such a shit show.
It was terrible. And I'm a Fiend defender, and that was terrible.
Shit show.
Yep.
I don't
Let
even know
the
if I want to
Fiend
let Tom
win.
shit on this.
He's not even. Please, Tom, have at it.
I don't.
Okay. All
Is
right.
this safe?
Oof. Okay. So this match.
I deserve to listen to this because I'm the one that was selling it all week, you know?
So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So
Got
the
all
good, it was short.
Yep.
And it
Short.
didn't. The other good is that it went on first, so they got it right out of the way immediately. We didn't have to wait for it. It wasn't like there was some good match before it that was just like had us like, oh man, what's gonna happen next? No, they just they immediately dropped it on us, and no, it was every bit as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't worse than I thought it was going to be, so I'll say that as well. The little tube of regeneration there, I don't understand that. I don't care to understand it. Maybe that's the point. I don't care. I just God, they jumped the shark so many weeks ago that like I just don't care anymore. It's like, oh well, the Fiend look, Alexa Bliss could have come out and like literally shit the Fiend out, and it could have just been he'd just be like, ha ha ha. Here
She
I
just
am,
pumps him
Murder
out of
Clown.
her asshole.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
you are, Fiend.
She could have came out with like a big fake butt on with a big fake butthole, and she could have just like shit the Fiend out. It would have been the same thing to me. Actually, that I may have just booked that better. So Fiend pops out, right? And like he comes out as like so he goes through that little tube on the TV screen, and it's like, oh, he's regenerated, and it's like, okay, but why? Nobody knows why. We don't know. Nobody knows. So that happens, and then Alexa comes out and she does her little ha ha ha, little like waving at everybody. Look, Alexa, let's give credit where it's due. She literally has oversold and just sold the shit out of all of this, regardless of how stupid it's been, and she's done a good job. That being said, so that comes out, and then she pushes out that big weird, oh god, would Michael Cole call it a box-like structure? It was clearly a Jack in the Box. It was just
You mean a Jack in the Box, Michael Cole?
Yeah, it's just what Alexa's been using for the last like 6 weeks on TV, but just bigger. But it was a big Jack in the Box, a big box-like structure. And then I think later he called it a Jack in the Box like structure. Jesus Christ, Michael Cole, just call it what it is. It's a big Jack in the Box. Drop
Adam
the
Cole's
like
dad
structure.
is stupid.
It's a box. It's a box. It's Jack in the Box. Let it go. So Fiend pops out, and he's in a new Fiend gear, but he's not crispy. He's back to standard Murder Clown.
Fresh Fiend.
Fresh Fiend. He's back to being impervious to pain, which is fun. Not really, but sort of. He's like the Undertaker, but a little bit more stupid.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my whole argument, man. It's like when they first brought him out, they made him impervious to pain, and like you enjoyed watching that. He had this high threshold of pain, and it was fun. It's like, oh, what's it going to take? But since they started moving towards this more supernatural thing, man, it's time. It's got to go.
Well, wait, because I have more to say about that. So, stupid, impervious to pain for a minute, for a little bit, like not even a minute, like maybe a couple minutes. He was impervious to pain. They have like 5-6 moves. The match goes maybe 6 minutes, and then all of a sudden, Alexa pops out of the Jack in the Box, and she's got a crown on that starts bleeding that black goo that everybody threw up for like
There's a crown-like structure. Just so we're clear. Crown-like structure.
Crown-like structure. Anyway, there's a crown-like structure on Alexa's head, and she starts bleeding black goo out of it. This distracts the Fiend as though he didn't know that black goo came out of Alexa Bliss, despite black goo coming out of Alexa Bliss while he was dead. And he was like, and which gave Randy Orton the open time frame to go ahead and give him an RKO and pin him with one RKO. So one RKO took out, took out the Fiend. Seth Rollins had to hit him with a big comedic hammer, and they threw the match out. Although he still got up after that, and there were several stomps as well. And what else? There was a jackhammer. He got beat by a jackhammer, right? It was just one spear, one jackhammer that beat him. Anyway,
yes.
So the Fiend's inconsistent as to how impervious to pain he is. It seems like he's got his pain has like a short memory. You just have to pin him fast. Anyway,
I think the booking committee has a short memory.
It was real. It was a terrible match. It was all this was. I think I predicted last week that this was going to be the worst match on WrestleMania.
You did, sir.
It absolutely was. There was
It was.
There's no contenders. Like this is the worst by like on a scale of 1 to 10. This was maybe a 1.5.
Yeah, it sucked.
If we're talking about a 5-star scale, maybe it was a quarter star.
It was bad. It could be negative stars. It was bad.
Are negative stars
2 stars.
They're a thing.
Oh,
negative stars are a thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I give it a -1 then. -1.
It was real bad. Real bad.
This sucked. I'm sure they explained something tonight.
I have
nonsensical.
All right, Sheamus versus Riddle. Sheamus wins the United States Championship, and
that wasn't the next match.
No, it wasn't. But it's what's next on my. I'm glossing this one so we can get to the next one for you.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna gloss over this one.
Shamey won.
Yeah. How awesome was that Brogue kick at the end?
It was great. So I was talking to my buddy, one of my other buddies, not you guys, but I have other friends. I really do.
But you have other? What the fuck?
I have at least one. I was talking to him, and he's like, "Look, Riddle's bleeding. Must be all the weed." I'm like, "Yeah, it totally wasn't that kick he just took to the face." He's like, "Nah, it totally wasn't."
Yeah, that thing was stiff.
Well,
you're gonna win a championship.
That was real blood. That was real blood.
That was stiff.
I don't think I didn't see there was no gimmick. He just kicked him in the mouth and he bit his tongue or whatever. It was not good.
But it was definitely hard hitting and it was a lot of fun. Potential to steal the show. It lived up to his expectation.
It was as good as it could have been.
Yes, absolutely. Next match. Intercontinental Championship. Apollo Crews versus Big E. Nigerian drum match. Another shit show.
Derek, go ahead.
It may have been a shit show, but there was a high level of violence, which I'm obviously always been good with.
Nothing made
Apollo
sense.
beat the living shit out of each other with
sense.
They did.
It's fine. With the things, with the sticks, kendo sticks. I'll watch you beat each other with those all day.
So this is gonna be perfect. The drums around the ring serve no purpose. They were a negative piece of symbolism. Like they don't make sense. Why are they there? Tom, why are they there?
All right. Thanks for setting me up, Walt. I appreciate that. Okay, so going into this, Walt, I had said to you, man, Apollo just immediately adopting an accent like mid promo. It feels racist in a weird way. I mean, clearly I can't like comment on what is racist if you're like I'm not African, by any dissent of my own knowing. But it felt really weird and racist and forced and cringy. Let's go with cringy. He immediately went to the like Coming to America accent, which was, that's a great movie. It's a good movie. He didn't do it as well as Eddie Murphy did it, but it's a funny movie.
Yeah.
Now, the Nigerian drum match, they said something. Oh God, they said something going. It's not about percussion instruments. It's about violence or something like that.
Yeah, that was the line.
It was like it's about beating your opponent like a drum. However, when they said that, the ring was surrounded by drums,
Yes.
which are and they weren't like Neil
And a
Peart,
gong, which was random.
There was a gong, which was also weird, and they didn't use it to any good extent.
No.
Clearly, they should have hit somebody with the gong over the
I
head.
think he got bumped into, but that was about it.
It should have gone.
Yeah, there was a spot, and it was gonna happen, and then nope, we just bumped it, dropped it.
The gong spot was totally botched,
Yeah.
if you're asking me. And anyway, so yeah, no, this whole thing for me was cringe. It was cringy from the start. When Apollo decided that immediately, he's like, no, I am a Nigerian. No, I'm not even going to do it. It's not okay. He's a Nigerian prince. He's got a Nigerian accent, and Wakanda forever. Man, it was just oof. Especially because it's not his accent's not good. It's not like I've met people from Nigeria. His accent was not good, and he's not from Nigeria. He's like from New York, and he lives in like Florida, and it's just not. So that was cringy, and he won the title too. He beat Big E. I thought Big E was on a good run too.
Yeah. Well, does this set him up to maybe challenge for the Universal Championship?
No, I think this sets him up to feud with Big E more and continue his very cringy accent.
No. Yeah. I'm talking about Big E, but if you think they're going to stay together, man, I'm over this one.
I'm definitely over it, but I do think there's more to come between these two, and I think it's going to happen again. This may not culminate until SummerSlam.
It's bad. Yeah. We all had Apollo pick to win that one. Another one let's touch on real quick. Sami Zayn versus KO. KO gets the win and then stuns Logan Paul in the process. Pretty good little. Hey, I do have to point something out though. I did say last week that this match had potential to be a weekend stealer, and Tom disagreed with me vehemently. And Tom, it was pretty damn good. It didn't steal the week, but it was pretty damn good.
It was fine. Yeah, it was good. It was as good as it was going to be. No, there was no way this was going to steal the weekend. Maybe 10 years ago it could have, but
Jeez.
not now. Now, I think it was as good as it was going to be.
Come on. That's hurtful. That's really
Logan Paul sucks.
Really hurtful.
That really ruined the whole vibe for me.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. He didn't need to be there. He really didn't. But
no,
KO wins.
After watching Bad Bunny do what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Logan Paul coming out and taking a shitty stunner. No.
Yeah, but you got your celebrity on the second night too.
Good for him.
KO wins. Derek had that. Now we get on to the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Now, all three of us had Rhea Ripley winning this match, and that's how it should have been. In ring, the match was awesome. I really, really liked the match in ring. However, I feel like they had the wrong match for the situation that they were in. They were trying to tell this deep-seated story and that they didn't have any build up to. It took me out of it. I wasn't into it. The crowd wasn't into it.
We all knew what was coming. There was hardly any lead up to it, like you'd said. And the entrance of Rhea Ripley, I'm sorry, but that that particular band, it's not their fault. I've seen bands that I love live that are freaking terrible live and was like very disappointed. I don't know of this band, but only from hearing the regular Rhea Ripley entrance that we've been hearing for years now, compared to what we'd heard live, I didn't need that in my life. I could have just went on to exist without that. I don't want that ever again, please.
It
That was terrible live.
was real bad. Real bad.
Yeah.
It seems like there were some audio issues for sure. However, I'm losing my voice now. I will say, Walt, I disagree. As far as it not being the match that you think that they ought to have had. It's WrestleMania. Yes, I agree. There was a slight build. They tried to tell a story with the match a little bit, and the right outcome was there. But I felt like the match was really good. I feel like it was a level of just like Asuka was strong, Rhea was strong. It was a lot of strong back and forth, and it just went. It went on, and maybe it didn't need to go the same amount of time. Maybe it should have been a squash. Maybe Rhea should have squashed Asuka
100%.
come out and just been like, you weren't ready for me. Maybe that would have
For
been
my
a better story.
brutality. That's what's
Right. And that would have been a better story. But
I mean, but like there was so much goddamn confusion, bud. Like, was Rhea a heel? Was she a face? Like, she was like working half the match as a heel. She worked half the match as a face. You can't get the crowd invested in that and expect there to be.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. I feel like this was not a heel or face kind of match. And I'm the first person to be like, no, somebody needs to be heel, somebody needs to be the face. But I feel like they both kind of work this being tweeners going into it. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially because that's not like a consistent storyline within the WWE. That's like usually like somebody's the heel, somebody's the face, and it just gets so to me this wasn't like, oh, good. Again, it's just a match that's like evenly matched, and we're not supposed to root for one over the other, or blah 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 blah. Like this was kind of a like unique in that sense, is that we weren't supposed to root for Rhea over Asuka or Asuka over Rhea. We were just supposed to pick our favorites. I watch NXT. I really like Rhea because Rhea's really good, and she's kind of a tweener. She's got that aggressive edge to her, but like obviously she's clearly very likable. Same thing with Asuka. She's the Empress of Tomorrow, but at the same time, she's like held every title for like hundreds and hundreds of days. So, no, I think this was a good match. I feel like the kind of the very similar sort of built superstars met each other. Neither of them are really heel or face. They both sort of like live between the lines, and I feel like they put on as good of a match as they could have put on with the little build that they had. This was clearly supposed to be Asuka versus Charlotte, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nobody's just disputing that. Like that's what we've been building to. And then Rhea came in, and I think they did the best that they could with it. And I think giving Rhea the title, it was the best answer. And I think she did great with it. So I'm not.
I'm not going to disagree with you that Rhea is definitely the one that should be the champion right now. But like, man, they went out there and they laid an egg, bro. This match is on Wednesday night on AEW. You're shitting all over this thing.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
Now.
Listen, if it wasn't because it was Rhea Ripley and Asuka in there, man, I'm just listen. Like, it was bad.
No,
they wrestled the wrong match.
No, disagree. Derek, what do you think?
Honestly, I hate to say it, but I mean, I love Rhea Ripley from NXT. You guys know I'm a huge Asuka guy, but it could have been better. I think that there is a lot left out because there was no build up, because they did do the best that they could, like you'd mentioned, Tom, for sure. But was I pumped to see that? I guess not really. I think the intro and I that's probably terrible, but I put a lot of stock in the entrance of the wrestlers, in the whole like every part of the story leading into it. That intro just killed it for me. That killed all mood of me even wanting to see this. It's like, nope.
You're silly.
Plus, I knew Oscar was going to lose, so that makes me
Ah.
a sad panda.
Sad panda. You know, it makes me a sad panda, the fact that I have to give Tom a point right now, because Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge. Roman Reigns retains his seat at the head of the table. I thought the match was good, guys.
The match
I
was
don't know.
fucking phenomenal. Roman Reigns beat the shit out of everybody. That was great.
Also, Jey Uso took another beating with a chair.
Yes.
Look, like this
we
man
need to
must
have a counter.
fetish. He must have a fetish, because that was like the 50th beating with a chair in a row.
Yeah.
Jey Uso segments are going to be sponsored by I'm not really certain who makes steel folding chairs, but a major
Cream?
company should they should invest in that.
Definitely Asper Cream and Tylenol. My man gets his ass beat with a steel chair every single week.
Yeah.
I thought the match was good. Like, I don't know, man. I really wanted to see Edge win that. I think that everybody knew that. I obviously
I think we all
picked
knew you
against
wanted
him.
to see that.
I picked against him. But the match was good. And Tom, you know, I know you and I were going back and forth, you know, kind of after it was over. You're absolutely right. It would not have been the match that it was if it wasn't the triple threat. I will 1,000,000% give you your props on that one, because I don't know the Roman and Edge piece. Like, you know, when they were one-on-one in the match, I thought it was really good. But that was all that we would have seen in a head-to-head match, and I don't know that
had
they
to
could
been
have.
much shorter.
Yeah,
than it was.
yes, you know, and I just don't know that they could have exaggerated, you know, a 15-minute match out of the 6 minutes that we got, you know, while DB was outside. I don't know. Like, I really, really enjoyed the match. I really did. I think Roman's the right choice moving forward, because he's on the run of his career right now, and he's only going up. And I know there's a lot of people that are real salty that he retained and that they didn't do Daniel Bryan or Edge, because, you know, there's this, that, and the other. And I know we talked about this in the group chat. It's like there's no lose here. There really isn't, because any of the three guys that won would have been fun to watch. So I think that we as wrestling fans get more of this Roman Reigns thing. That's a win.
You think Edge is done? I mean,
No, I don't.
does he
I
continue to
think that-
chase Roman though? I
Yes.
don't think he does.
that this really puts. So this was sort of the end of the. I think Edge does get a little run at some point. I think he beats Roman and maybe gets a little run, maybe between maybe the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania next year. But I think we've got a long way to go between now and then. And you know, I don't know about Daniel Bryan. I think he was added to the match just to give it time, really. I think is being inserted into that. And if you watch the pre-shows and stuff and the build-up and how they want you to view this match, which is that's what those are about, like how they want you to view the match. I think that Daniel Bryan had a legitimate point in the match, and I think his legitimate point in the match was to make it go 15 minutes or whatever went. And I think that was good. I think that, you know, Roman and Edge could have put on a solid 8 minutes, but I think adding Daniel Bryan puts on more time to that. And I think that the whole thing was great. And I think that, you know, Edge giving concertos. Look, I've said this for weeks. Edge is a despicable human being, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing. He was despicably human beinging this stuff. And had Jey Uso not involved himself there at the end, and taken another chair beating, which is what the 30th one, 50th one, 60th one he's taken, was, would have been something else. But, it would have ended with Edge winning with the concerto and just being, and then, Edge would have had to been the heel and they'd had to turn Roman face and all this other stuff. I do still think they can leave Edge sort of a tweener, sort of an unhinged kind of like, I'm going to win. I'm going to take this from you regardless. He's better that way. He's not a face. Edge is not a face.
He's always been a tweener. Realistically, if you really look at his body of work, he's always been a tweener because the fans have always loved him, but he's always played a heel.
Right. But like, I don't know. I don't know if he's the right guy to take it off of Roman necessarily. Because Roman's heel work is just so despicable. Even
awesome.
Like fans don't like him in the way that they liked Edge, but like they don't like Roman because they feel he's entitled. Edge never felt entitled. Edge was just a bad man, right? He was just a bad human.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, like we put like entitled is more like that's worse than like just being bad as a person. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's Michael Jackson's fault because he's bad. Anyway. But no, it's a great match. I loved it. I thought it was better because it was triple threat. And yeah, I liked it. It was a good end. I liked WrestleMania as a whole.
I did too. I thought it was a great week of television. I really did. Guys, so I guess let's talk here. So initially I had us scored as Tom missed 5 matches, I missed 4 matches, and Derek missed 3 matches. But with the little no contest thing sneaking up, there's now a tie at 4 missed matches. So Derek and I will have to battle to the death for the $3.
Oh. Can we bring weapons?
Live on pay-per-view. Oh.
What are we doing? What are you people doing? Match of the week? Is that where we are?
No match of the week. We're fucking done, dude.
What?
Jesus Christ. No match of the week.
Fine.
God bless America. We've been on the air for 2 hours.
I want to go watch AEW because I haven't been able to watch it this week because instead I had a week of fucking WWE.
I think we can all agree that match of the week was Tommaso Ciampa and Walter.
Yes.
So, with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
Peace out, people.